There is a name in Phra Khanong that boatmen once lowered their voices for after sunset. The first woman who gave it to me sat beside a clay stove, smelled of smoke and beetle, and touched my wrist before she said, Mae Nak. I walked the canal road east of old Bangkok when the rains had thinned and the mud still held footprints. Banana leaves slapped in the damp wind. House stilts stood dark over black water, and frogs called from the paddies beyond the narrow plank paths. Phra Khanong was never a lonely place in the old tellings. Barges moved rice and charcoal. Monks crossed by boat. Yet the elders said one stretch near the canal mouth felt emptied after dusk, as if even stray dogs disliked the warm night there. They called her Mae Nak, Mother Nak, with the tenderness given to a married woman and a new mother. Some said Nung Nak instead, Lady Nak. In older mouths, the title changed with village rank, but the house, the canal, and the waiting remained the same. Her full name tied her to Phra Khanong, the district that held her body and would not keep it. Around Bangkok, I heard only Mae Nak. In outlying places, people spoke of the faithful wife, the dead wife, the woman whose love stayed seated by the hearth. An old monk at Wat Mahabut gave me the year as 1868, though another man argued for a season earlier. He had heard it from his mother's uncle, a boatman who knew Nak's husband, before military service carried him away from the canal. While Mac was gone, Nak labored in the riverside house. The women who came to help burned herbs against fever and spread woven mats beneath her. One widow told me the room smelled of hot blood, crushed turmeric, and wet bamboo, then went quiet all at once. Mac returned after the burial. He found his wife alive before the cooking fire, or seeming alive, with their infant at her breast. The witness who told me this kept rubbing his own forearm as he spoke, as if he still felt the house air. It was cold. For a while, the neighbors held their tongues. Then one evening, Nak dropped a lime from the raised porch. It rolled beneath the house. Her arm reached down through the slats, longer than a fishing pole, and rose with the fruit in her hand. The pattern was always domestic. Rice steaming in the pot, a child fussing in the dark, the scrape of a ladle on earthenware. She came as a wife at work, which frightened people more than a shape in the trees. The ordinary room carried the wound. Villagers taught me the warnings in careful order. The lamp flame bent inward, though no wind passed. Dogs lay flat and whined toward the threshold. A baby stopped crying too suddenly. Then someone caught the sweet rotten smell of funeral flowers in a house where no one had died that week. No one called to a young mother from beneath the floorboards near Phra Khanong. No one answered if a familiar voice came from the canal bank while the tide was turning. The elders said names were bridges, and certain nights asked too much of them. Several tellings ended with the husband learning the truth by her feet. Living feet touched the ground fully. Hers hovered, or turned wrong, or cast no weight on the dust. One ferryman swore the bamboo beneath the porch never creaked when she crossed it. Along canals west of Bangkok, I heard a milder account. There she never harmed anyone but strangers who mocked the dead. She only wanted Mac left undisturbed inside the marriage bed. Women telling this version kept their eyes on the cooking fire and spoke very softly. In another province, the arm was omitted and replaced by a floating shape in the banana grove. White cloth moving where no body stood. There the child cried from under the house instead of in Nak's arms. The husband fled sooner. The neighbors were braver. At Wat Mahabut, the shrine tradition bent the story toward containment. A monk or holy man fixed her spirit with sacred syllables and sealed part of her remains. Elsewhere, old men insisted a famed exorcist trapped her in a clay pot. The roads never agreed on the vessel. The oldest written mention I could trace was late and local, far younger than Chinese collections like Sushenji, or Japanese gatherings such as Ugetsu Monogatari. Mae Nak lived first in mouth and shrine smoke. Printed Thai versions only hardened after people had already wept over her. A temple attendant let me see a worn register copy tied with faded cord. It named offerings, repairs, and vows made at Wat Mahabut. Her story sat beside requests for sums, safe births, and military return. The papers smelled of dust, candle wax, and old rain. What the road taught me was small. Grief liked the shape of household things, a cooking pot, a sleeping mat, a husband expected home by dusk. In Phra Khanong, people spoke of Mae Nak with fear. Yet they set fruit before her, as if calming a troubled relative. I left by boat under a thin moon, with incense from the shrine caught in my clothes, and canal water tapping the hull. Tell me a story from a road near home that never settled onto paper.